How's it going, Mark? Mike, good to see you on here, bud. Mark, you still into all them mushrooms right now? Get some people on here and we'll fire this up, guys. This is beautiful where you guys are at is where I'm at right now. You're probably not wanting to get in here and listen to me, which I don't blame you one bit. It's beautiful weather out there. John Seats, good to see you, bud. Thought we were going to have some storms roll through. I was kind of wondering if I was going to be able to do this tonight. And then it was beautiful out there right now when I came out. Don't blame you, Mark. Be out there mushroom hunting for the next 3 days. I don't blame you one bit. Ricky, how's it going, bud? John, that's good. I hope Bob's feeling better. A few more seconds here, guys. I'm going to fire up and get this over with so you can get back outside and enjoy the evening if you want to. I think tonight will probably be a short show anyway because there's not a lot to talk about when it comes to minerals. So unless you guys got a lot of questions you want to ask, which I'm fine with that. Chris Ashley, you on here, bud? It keeps popping up like you're trying to join in a different way. I don't know if you're on here or not. All right, I say we just well get started and get this over with. Like I say, you guys got a lot of questions, ask them. Feel free to ask because this is going to be a pretty short topic to go over. Talking about minerals tonight. You know, 1986, Todd Sittleberg came out with a trophy deer mineral. You know, he developed it himself, formulated it. 1987, it hit the shelves. It was the very first deer mineral ever introduced to the whitetail world. You know, next year that mineral is going to be 40 years old. It's still our #1 selling mineral. And it's, I would say, by looking at the stats, it's the #1 selling mineral of all time right now. So everywhere. But when it comes to me, there's a few things I like to look at with a mineral. #1 is salt content. There's so much competition out there. I say competition, it's not really competition if you know what you're looking for. But there's a lot of competition out there that is wanting to bring minerals, food plot seed, attractants. You know, the market is getting flooded with it. Everybody and their brother is trying to make a dime off of it. And I hope they do. You know, I mean, there's room for all of us out there. But the thing that really gets me when it comes to the competition, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it, they don't care what they're giving you. You know, they're just wanting to make a buck off of it and be done with it. And mineral is one that a lot of people get fooled over when it comes to a deer mineral. And it really depends on what you want that deer mineral for. So if you're looking at wanting something to get deer in front of a camera, pretty much a camera magnet, high concentrate salt, that's all you need. That's the sweetness, that's their candy. But when you're wanting to have a mineral that is going to provide the deer the minerals and trace vitamins they need, you got to get lower in that salt content. There's no room for the good stuff. There's no room for that medicine right there. So you look at a mineral, a good bodybuilding mineral that is going to help with, anything from tissue development, blood flow, all over herd health, bone structural growth, antler development, all that. You're looking at a mineral that needs to be under about 37% salt. You get under that 37% salt and you got the trace minerals and vitamins in there that you need, or the deer need, that's what you're looking for. Are they going to hit this mineral like they would a bucket of salt or a bag of salt? They will, but it takes them a while to get to it. You can pour out our Lick Magic, which is an attractant mineral, and you can pour out our Trophy Deer mineral. They're going to hit the Lick Magic first because it's sweeter. But as soon as they get into that Trophy Deer mineral, they're going to destroy it. And they're just going to keep coming back for more and more and more. And that's what you want. And one thing to look at a mineral, a white-tailed deer will only hit mineral when they need it. It's not something that they're going to hit all day long, every day. It's just the same as the minerals that are in their natural browse and the soil and the certain plants, the chicories, the alfalfa, certain leaves that have minerals embedded into them. They only hit them when they need them because they know they're in it. So don't think you're going to take a mineral. It's going to be like pouring out a bucket of corn. Every time you pour out a bucket of corn, they're going to eat it up. It's not designed for that. It's designed to give medicine they need, which is the vitamins and the trace minerals and vitamins, when they need it. That's what it's made for. So first of all, if you're looking for a mineral, figure out what you want. Do you want something that's just going to get you a picture of every deer in the county? Or do you want one that's going to get you the pictures of the deer plus build a healthier herd? So that's when you start looking at salt content. That's when you start looking at the trace minerals and vitamins that are in it. Not only calcium and phosphorus. Everybody thinks calcium and phosphorus. That's all they talk about when it comes to mineral. There are so many more trace minerals and vitamins that them deer need to work with that calcium and phosphorus. Number one, nothing's going to help unless the deer has enough phosphorus in its body, in its system already. If it doesn't have any phosphorus in its system, you can feed all the minerals you want. You're not going to get no growth out of it. So you got to make sure they got enough phosphorus in their diet. You got to make sure that you give them the calcium, usually a 2-to-1. So give them the calcium and then all the other trace minerals and vitamins that work together with them like spokes on a wheel. If you give them all the vitamins they need, all the trace minerals and vitamins they need, that wheel is going to spin freely. If you start taking away some of them trace minerals and vitamins, that's when the wheel is going to start wobbling and it's not going to work as well as it should. So if you look at ours, our Trophy Deer mineral has 25, actually 27, but we only show 25. 27 different trace minerals and vitamins in that Trophy Deer mineral. There's a reason all 27 of them are in there. So go pick up a bag or a bucket of some other competitor stuff and just see what you're buying there. And then ask your question. You can either ask me or you can go on the Google, look at our bag, type in, why does deer need this trace mineral, this vitamin, this vitamin? Why does it need B1, vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin E? Go in there and Google that and see why they need that. And then you'll understand why it is in that bag, that Trophy Deer mineral bag. So key thing, like anything else, do your homework. But first, figure out what you want the mineral for. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot, and it's crazy how often I get asked this. Will I see results the first year by using your Trophy Deer mineral? Absolutely not. Not to the naked eye. I try to tell people you need to give a mineral a good 3 to 5 years. If you're running mineral the proper way, give them enough of it, which we'll talk about here soon. You're looking pretty much at next generation of deer when you're really going to see it. Now, you will start seeing some healthier, bigger fawns the next year, the second year into it. You'll see the deer looking healthier, their coats looking better. You can see some bone growth, but you're really going to see the difference going into that next generation. So none of this stuff works overnight. It doesn't work in a year's time. The deer's got to work onto it. You and I have taken enough vitamins and even trace minerals as well in certain things to know it's not an overnight fix. It's not going to do it. You got to continue doing it, and the deer need to continue having it when you started on them. So with us, we're looking at 1 mineral lick per 40 acres. You don't need any more than that. 1 mineral lick per 40 acres for a person that is wanting to build the deer herd, a healthy deer herd. You can put out all the attractant minerals you want, as many places as you want to, if you're just wanting it for a camera magnet. But when it comes to a quality, high quality deer mineral, like the trophy deer mineral, you're looking at something that 1 per 40 acres. And here's the thing that's going to throw you right here. I remember telling people this at the Wisconsin Deer Classic in a seminar this year. Most people they spend way too much money on deer mineral, way too much money. And the thing to look at, granular deer mineral is made to dissolve into the soil. The deer eat it through the soil. It's not made to sit there like a bag of corn. This needs the rain on it, dissolves in the soil. That's why they dig the hole. They get it through the dirt. That's how they get their natural browse too, when it comes to minerals. But a lot of people think they got to go out there once a week, twice a week. Now, if I was a salesman and I didn't have a conscience, I would tell you, you need to put that out there once a month. Go buy a bag or two, put it out there once a month. But I'm telling you, with all the testing, running 2 bags a year on a smaller farm under 40 acres is going to be all you need. I mean, my Indiana ground that I have, I run 2 bags, one in February. I refresh it in February. I refresh it in June, and that's all I go through. The days of going out and these salesmen telling you, you got to put this out monthly. And 99% of the time, the stuff they're telling you to put out monthly, all it is candy. There's hardly anything there for a trace mineral and vitamin. So you're pretty much just giving the deer candy with the salt. That's all it is. So again, the key thing, look at the salt content. You're going to be very surprised on how many products that are out there that are well over 60%, all the way up to 98% salt. And they're calling it a premium deer mineral. So just do your homework. It'll work the best for you. And don't overdo it. Don't wait. I'm not saying you're wasting money by putting more of it out there. The deer are going to utilize it, but you don't have to. If you're on a budget, don't think you need to sell the tractor tire to go buy a bag of mineral because you need another one for this month. You're good to go. It's in that soil. It'll work out good for you. So a couple bags a year. Now you get into real high deer numbers. I mean, high. You might look at 3 bags a year. My one farm, I mean, I got 40, 50 does on it all the time, and I'm running through 2 bags a year. And well, not quite a year because I got to take it out before deer season starts. So you're looking about 8 months. So just don't hurt yourself by buying more than you have to, unless you just want it there for them. I promise you, I could quit putting deer mineral out. And one of my mineral licks right now that's been established for a few years and not put any in for 3 years, and you won't see a difference in the number of the deer hitting it. They're going to go to it every time. I mean, the biggest thing I looked at, I'll never forget, and it was actually a salt lick. Southern Illinois, where it's illegal to use. We used to go down to the Shawnee National Forest gun hunting ever since I was a little kid. And there was a natural salt lick there. Well, they say it was natural. I swear somebody put it there, but they say it was natural. And for 25 years of hunting down there, that lick just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't think anybody's putting anything in it. It's just there. It's crazy on how long this stuff will hold. And it's crazy on how much a salesman or a company owner will tell you that you need to have, and you don't. So again, I guess the key word tonight is homework. Just do your homework on it. Give me a call, ask me, I'll help you out in any way I can. Another question I get asked about minerals a lot. Do I prefer a mineral block over granular? And for me, I do not. A deer can consume so much more granular through the soil at one time than they can off of a block by trying to lick it off. So myself, we have an apple burst mineral block that is an excellent block, low in salt, a lot of trace minerals and vitamins, works very, very well for a bodybuilding mineral in a block form. But I just like the granular better. Now, I have in the past, I used to go out and I'd like get back in about December or so, I'd throw a mineral block out in my mineral lick just so it'd be there through the few months there before I go put my granular back in, just to give them something to lick on, because these deer need the minerals 12 months out of the year. You'll see them lay way off of them in them cold winter months. But if you ever had a camera over a mineral lick and notice in the winter when it's really cold, the deer aren't hardly touching it. But as soon as you get a day or two that it warms up a little bit, them deer will hit it. That's when they're needing the minerals and vitamins. So that's why I like having it there all the time for them. Now, in areas like I have in Indiana, we got to cover it up. So we don't get to watch that. But other places that I've had and seen it, it's just amazing on how the deer will hit it within just a 30-degree temperature change. Warm up 30 degrees and you'll have deer in that mineral lick. Temperature drops back down, you don't see them again. So, but it's good to have that there if it's legal in your area to have it there through the hunting season, even though you don't hunt over it. It's good to have that there for them deer. They need it. When they need it, they can get it. So, but now one thing we got here, I will show you this. People ask a lot. And guys, I love doing these shows here where I can actually talk about questions I get. And I get a lot of questions every day. So I just try to remember the ones that come up the most. This is one of them. The trophy deer mineral and the power rack. If you read the trophy deer mineral, we put on there that you want to add a 5-pound bag of power rack to it. And people ask why. The number one reason that you're adding that power rack, which I do not, I've never had to do it, but it's usually from a customer that has used a competitor's product, I'm not going to mention names, that is very high in salt, saying 98%. And then they use our product, the trophy deer mineral, which is more medicine than it is candy. And the deer just don't seem to take to it as fast. They're not going to. It's just like me. I would rather eat a Reese's peanut butter cup than take a Tylenol any day of the week. You know, that's just me. Deer are the same way. So we know what vitamins and especially vitamins. Go grab a vitamin. How bad do they taste? They try to make gummies and everything else and make them sweeter and taste better and flavor. They're still a vitamin. They still got that nasty taste to them. So with the trophy deer mineral in that 20-pound bag that is very low in salt, we cannot add any more salt to that, because if we do, we got to take away some of them 27 different trace minerals and vitamins. And we're not going to do that to our number one mix, just so the deer will hit it quicker right off the bat. So the power rack is actually higher in salt content, and it does have trace minerals and vitamins embedded in it. So if you mix that 1 5-pound bag with that 20-pound bag, you're giving the deer the trace minerals and vitamins that they need, and you're also giving them a sweeter mineral lick. So you're giving them the candy and the medicine at once. If we want to put it all together, you know, we're going to have a 25 to 30-pound bag, which is not feasible. So that's why we put the two. I've never used a power rack on it. I use a power rack a lot for a camera magnet. It is higher in salt, and the deer love it. It's easy to throw in a backpack and go up to your camera areas, pour a little bit out. The deer will hit it like crazy. So, but the reason it's designed for is to mix one bag to the trophy deer mineral to give them more sweetness out of it, higher salt content, and not hurt the trophy deer mineral. Last thing we want to do is hurt that mix. So that's the reason that is. Other question? Why should I use one or the other? Okay, here's a Lick Magic. This one you've seen that we brought out a few years ago. This is a product that I call an attractant mineral. Now, it has 11 different trace minerals and vitamins, and it's higher in salt content. So the deer are getting some benefit out of it. They're going to benefit some out of it, and they're going to get their candy at the same time in a 23-pound bucket. So again, if you're wanting a camera magnet that's going to help the deer some, Lick Magic, you cannot beat it. It'll pull deer in from any county there is out there. The trophy deer mineral, that's going to be your bodybuilder. So, and the question I get, can I mix them two together? Absolutely. You can mix them together if you want. And you're pretty much doing the same thing as a power rack, but you're giving them, you know, a lot more poundage of the higher salt content mineral. So, but that's the difference between our minerals. You know, I'm a trophy deer mineral guy. I always have, always will be. I promise you one thing, if they fired me tonight, I'd use it tomorrow. I mean, that's just how much I believe in the mix that Todd built in 1986. I mean, there's a reason that it's still here, going to be 40 years. Next year, it's going to be 40 years old, like I said earlier. That's a big reason why I like that mix so much, and it's still the #1 selling mineral. And they sell a lot of it in Illinois where it's illegal. So if that tells you anything. All right, let's see if we got any questions here, because I feel like I'm just rambling and you guys are shaking your head and don't have no clue what I'm talking about. There's Chris Ashley. I was wondering if you was on here, bud. It kept showing me a thing you're trying to pop up in a different way that I'd never seen before. Doug Lamb, good to see you on here, bud. Mark Coleman. 40th year celebration. We're working on a 40th year celebration. I've been working on that actually since the first of the year. That started at ATA show. New logos and new swag, that probably will not happen. So I'd say the logo is going to stay the same. The swag, I doubt if you'll ever see Antler King buy any more new swag. That is like working with the mafia, and that's all I'm going to put it at. It is ridiculous. We are getting a couple new hats. Hats are easy. The swag, the shirts are the pain. How these companies do it with all the overhead they have with swag is beyond me. When we're talking about swag, it's crazy. Our Antler King sweatshirts, which we buy by the thousands when we had them, we literally make, after shipping one, we make $1 on a sweatshirt. And people still say it's too high. It's ridiculous what these people want for these shirts now. A good quality shirt. You can get junk shirts, but a good quality shirt. Robert, you're asking, you're willing to try this year. What's the name of this one? If you're asking, I mean, buddy, if you're wanting the bodybuilding deer mineral, I know you probably heard me say it a million times since I've looked at that before I looked at this. The trophy deer mineral is the one you're really wanting. Mark, yes, the Lick Magic is definitely a camera magnet, for sure. Good evening, Bill. Good to have you on here, bud. Robert, talking about, I think Tractor Supply sells it there in PA. Yeah, you know, they very well could. Some certain Tractor Supplies carry it, some don't. It just depends on where the buyer puts it. But yes, there are certain Tractor Supplies that do carry it. And the good thing about the trophy deer mineral or anything product related that we have, if you order it online at antlerking.com, it's always free shipping. So, and then 20-pound bags get pretty costly, so it's free shipping to you guys, which helps you out. Jason asking how many minerals. Yeah, Robert, you're exactly right. 40 acres per one site per 40 acres is what we've tested it at. ever since when was Todd doing that? I'm wanting to say it was a year after it went on. So it was like, might have been 1988 is when they started testing that on the pen raised deer, checking the blood, drawing blood on the deer, and just seeing the difference by going more or less. And that 2 per 40 acres seemed to be the best. You're exactly right, Mark. Check your state laws about hunting over it. No matter hunting, some states you can use it, but you can't hunt over it. You got to be so far away from it. Some states you can use it, and you got to cover it up by the end of before the first of the season, usually like 15 days ahead of time. States like mine, Illinois, can't use it at all. So yeah, make sure you check your laws because you do not want to get in trouble with it, because they will come out, they will do a soil test, and they will make you dig it up till it's all out of the soil. Seen it done. Yeah, there you go. Robert's thought he has to remove his 30 days. Timmy Lambert, good to see you on here, bud. I appreciate it on the turkey, man. Mark, there's nothing really better than a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I'm telling you right now. And again, Mark, you're exactly right. Number one goal is a healthy deer herd. You know, it takes a healthy deer herd to grow big antlers. I mean, that's it. You know, you look at a white-tailed buck, and I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I'm good at that. You guys know that. You take a white-tailed buck, he cannot give you 100% the next spring during growing season if he's not 100% going into it. So offering the deer anything from the food plots, if you're able to feed, supplemental feed, anything like that, including these minerals to help these deer, you know, that's lost 25, 35% of their body fat during that harsh rut and going into a heavy winter in certain states, you know, every little bit helps. So getting that herd healthy is what's going to grow your deer herd. So, and that's the main goal. You're exactly right, Mark. And I don't use mineral to grow big antlers. I use mineral to build my deer, make them healthy, which is going to allow that process to happen. So you're exactly right there. My buddy Eric Kibler saying, great background. I don't know why I'm looking, because everything in here except one deer you have done. So that's why it's a great background. It's all your work, except that deer right there that we need to get another cape for. But you're retired, so I don't know if you'd do it for me anymore. Oh, wait, I'm coming down to your shop tomorrow, ain't I? I forgot about that. Brandon, good to see you on here, bud. Hope you're doing well. Brian's talking about it's illegal to use minerals in Michigan, but I'm curious to know what happens to mineral sites when it rains in biblical portions like it has here in Michigan this year. It really depends. Here's the thing when it comes to a mineral lick. I like to build a mineral lick on an area that it's not going to allow it to have any runoff. Now, don't get me wrong. When these deer start digging their hole, they're going to make a pond out of it, which is good. They're going to make a pond out of it, and it can run over and overflow. You're not going to hurt that mineral lick hardly at all by that with these minerals that are embedded into it. Excuse me. But try to make that mineral lick somewhere. I don't like to have it around a food source. I don't like to have it around my mineral licks. I mean, my food plots. I like to have my mineral lick back into a thicket. I like it in the thickest area that these deer are going to feel safe. It can even be in an area that the deer don't even hardly have trails going through. I promise you they'll make major highways through there after you do it. So I don't want to ever have my mineral where I'm going to be constantly going in to work on my food plots and do different things and spook the deer. I want them to feel safe in this area. I like having a pretty flat area that it's not going to run off down into a creek and all that kind of stuff. So my main goal when building a mineral lick is I never pour my minerals into a pile. I'll go in there and I don't even take a steel rake. I'll use either a stick or my boot. I'll clean out about a 4-foot circle of all the leaves, the needles, the sticks, branches, just be a 4-foot circle. And I'll take that 20-pound bag of trophy deer mineral and I'll spread it evenly all over that whole 4-foot area. And then I'll walk away. So I don't mix it in. I don't rake it in. I put it right over it, let the rain set it, and it's good to go. Uh-oh. Eric's telling me, which if you guys don't know, Eric Kibler is my taxidermist, my best friend, saying his wife's making me no-bake cookies. Every time I go to his taxidermist shop, she makes me no-bake cookies. And I eat like 3 plates of them on the way home. And yes, Eric, they are way better than any mineral out there. But I ain't giving them my damn deer. They're from me. I got to hide them from Stacy. That's why I eat 3 plates full of them on the way home. Mark is asking, why is trophy deer mineral colored gray? That's the natural color, bud. That's how it all turns when it gets all ground up. Now, like the Lick Magic, you see how the orange tint, that is actually the flavoring in that one. That's why it's all orange. It looks the exact same way if it wasn't flavored. And if you smell the trophy deer mineral, it's our very own patented, Todd actually had it patented years ago when he designed this, but it almost has a wintergreen smell to it. Very, very close. Especially if you'd ever open the bottle of the flavoring, it smells just like wintergreen, but when it dilutes down, when you mix it, it's not as potent. So it's actually got its very own attraction to it that is something different than anything else you smell out there. And that's something that'll never change either. That's been with it. The only thing that's ever changed with that trophy deer mineral since 1986 when he formulated it is the bag. And I fought and fought and fought to keep the original bags. But about 6 years ago, they decided to go to the poly bag. I wish we'd have kept the original one. Anthony, good to see you on here, bud. He's asked me, does it make a difference if the soil is clay or sandy? Clay soil, no. Sandy soil, yes. You get into a loomy soil, a sandy soil mix, not so much. You get into a real kind of sugar sand, real powdery, looks like sugar. That's where you're going to have issues with, because just like moisture, any moisture you get from rain filters right through sand. So what I try to tell people, if they're going to do a mineral lick in a real sandy area, it takes a little bit of work. But if you can take some of that sand, move it out, take you some straw, yard clippings, leaves, anything like that, just like you would a food plot. Get it down in there, put the sand in, mix it all together. That'll help it hold that. It won't let it filter through as easy. So, but I'm talking about real sugar type sand, real powdery sand. Sandy soil, not as much, but that, mix it in just like you're going to try to hold moisture into a food plot, a sugar sand food plot before you plant something. Mix in straw, grass, leaves, any kind of organic matter that you can put into that sand to help hold that is going to help you out. All right, let me look back, see if we're missing anything. You guys got any questions, just start asking. If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up. I think I got you guys all caught up here, I think. Oh, John's saying he found some 0060 at El Dorado, $4.50 a ton. That's a good deal, man. That's a really good deal. I'm glad you finally found some that you could get. Yep, I got you guys caught up. Mark's asking, what is the shelf life of trophy deer mineral? There's no shelf life, bud. The key thing is to keep it from drawing moisture, keep it from setting up, getting hard in the bag. But even with that, you can throw that bag out there, bust it up if it gets hard and sets up on you. And rain will help dissolve it, wash it in, where moisture will just really set it like concrete and make that bag really, really hard. So, but again, you can throw it out there in your mineral lick hole and take a steel rake and just bust it all up, and then it'll filter right into the soil. Eric's asking, on 100 acres, how many sites would you have? Well, bud, if I know the place you're talking about, I would say with that one, I'd say 3 with the deer numbers. Other than that, I like doing one per 40 acres. You could get by with 2 of them, but for the healthiness, I would, with the number of deer, I would probably go with 3. All right, Mark Coleman, I know you got another question in you. What do you got? Man, I keep seeing these damn no-bake cookies on here when I scroll through here. I'm getting hungry. Man. Well, you guys seen this picture a lot, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to a big mineral lick, this is one reason you really watch where you put a mineral lick, because they can make them to where you can park your truck into them. So really watch it. And it doesn't really take long to do it as well. This is a 2-year-old lick here of trophy deer mineral. And another thing you can look at doing, if you're interested in it, because there's getting to be a lot more about it here. And again, let's go back to doing your homework. You're hearing more and more about minerals to put in water tanks or water troughs or your little kiddie pools that you're putting out there for the deer to drink out of. That power rack that we use along with the trophy deer mineral is a great product to mix in with about 300 gallons of water, 1 5-gallon bag. And works very well, dissolves really well. I will tell you one thing to do if you are using minerals, and I don't care whose you're using, don't just pour them in and walk away. Take you a broom handle, something, stir them up really good, because the first thing they're going to do is settle to the bottom. But if you can stir them up pretty good for a few seconds, it's going to really help them out. But there's nothing special about the mineral. No matter what anybody tells you, the mineral's a mineral. So you can use a trophy deer mineral, you can use a Lick Magic, but I found with the salt content and the trace minerals and vitamins and the power rack, that 5-pound bag works very, very well and easy to throw in a backpack and tote back to your water tank, trough, whatever you're using, but works very well that way. So one question I get a lot, and I know there's a lot of you on here that's heard me say this a million times, but I'm going to say it one more. When it comes to having a property like I have in Central Illinois, We can't use any trace minerals, vitamins. We can't supplemental feed. We can't use we can't do nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. We're lucky to be able to put we're lucky actually to be able to plant food plots for deer. I can see down the road them trying to ban that. But so for you guys, if you're like me and you're like, man, I wish I could use minerals, love to have my deer to have more minerals, look into planting. So you get into where you have some food plots, you know, you got chicory, you got alfalfa. There's two very good perennial plants right there that have minerals embedded into them. That's going to give them deer extra mineral content. So you really want to look into something like that. You can plant it, and now it's not going to be as good as putting out a mineral lick, but it's definitely going to be a plus for them to go along with the natural browse minerals that they have. So chicory is one of my favorites. You cannot beat chicory, and it's got a good mineral content to it, just like, like alfalfa does. But when it comes to the minerals, I'll pick chicory any day over anything else. So chicory works very, very well. It is a perennial plot. Is there maintenance on it? Yes. You know, you're going to look in, you're maintaining it just like you will your clover, your alfalfa, stuff like that. But 99% of the time, if you're not planting a whole big chunk of it, the deer are going to keep it maintained for you. So you don't have much to do. But there is ways of getting around using minerals in states that don't allow you by planting them. All right, what do you guys got? They're going to kick me off in 15 minutes here. See if we can make the 15, because I'm running out of stuff to talk about minerals, because there ain't much to talk about. I have to talk about minerals. You got questions on food plots, attractants, feed, whatever, throw them my way. I'm more than happy to help you out in any way I can. But again, there's only so much we can do when it comes to talking about minerals and what to look for. But I'll tell you what, I ain't kidding when I'm talking about the chicory deal. Chicory is one of the best things to plant if you're wanting a good mineral content for your deer. I plant a lot of them, so is quite a few of my buddies here. We plant a lot of chicory. Make sure I haven't missed something here, guys, while you're thinking about a question. Robert, when you're talking about the Tractor Supply salesman PA, and they use the XL blocks a lot, the Graniac blocks, and they destroy them in 3 days. Again, just to let you know, bud, you probably already know this, but I'm just going to let you know, the Graniac block is actually a feed block and not a mineral block. So just letting you know that. Two complete different things there. You can't beat that Graniac block, though. That is the #1 selling block in this industry. If you had any idea how many of them we sell a year and build and press a year, you'd call me a liar. Anthony is asking, as you know, I'm in the market for a sprayer. Would you recommend a boomless over a boom sprayer? Does it make a difference? I use a boomless sprayer more often than I do a boom sprayer anymore. The only negative thing about a boomless sprayer is you really got to watch when you buy one what kind of tip comes with it, because 99% of your boomless sprayers come with a flood tip. And a lot of the companies like the one I have, they don't make a finer spray tip for it. And you can't just put a spray tip on it. It's made all in one piece. So a lot of the things you just need to find mist. So with the boomless sprayers, if they do have the flood tip, you're going through a lot more chemical than you need to, which costs money. and putting out just way too much. So both of them have their goods and bads. But if you're going out there, like my boomless sprayer, it'll spray 16 foot. So just one single nozzle out the back is doing 16 foot. So for what I need it for, it works out great. I just seem to travel a lot faster when I'm spraying than I normally would with my boom sprayer. Let's see here. Eric, you're exactly right. Chicory is awesome, hardy late, and comes in early spring. Yes, it does. And as you well know, it makes a good bedding area for deer when you're gone to Texas. So, and Anthony, just let you know, just because I forgot to bring that sprayer to you in Ohio at the show, and you forgot to remind me, it's still sitting out here in the shed. You can come from New York and pick it up if you want, bud. I ain't shipping it though. Brian, yeah, you're talking about going down the CWD rabbit hole. That's all that is a rabbit hole, man. It is ridiculous. Robert, you're right. $20 for a 33-pound block. Absolutely, bud. It can get costly too, as much as they like them. Now we got our 200-pound tubs of it, which is crazy. You're not going to pick them up out back of your truck and carry them to the wood zone. All right, I think I got you guys all caught up again. Oh, you guys got any more questions about the minerals or food plots, anything, let me know. We're going to be getting kicked off here shortly. Like I said, we're pretty much, what I can say about minerals has pretty much been said. If you missed something, let me know and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. If you jumped on later or whatever. But there's just not too much to talk about when it comes to it. The key thing, like I keep preaching, I preach to everybody, check that salt content, guys. Check it out. You'll be amazed out there of, and you know, I'm just going to go on a binge right now because it's how I feel. You'll be amazed if you go out in the industry and you look and see how much protein is in certain products, how much energy is in certain products, how much salt is in certain products. You know, a white-tailed deer can only utilize 16% protein without burning fat off its body. The last thing you want to do is feed it too high a protein in them winter months when he's trying to fatten himself back up to get through the winter. There's products out there that has 35+% protein in them that they're offering for a supplemental feeding, year-round feeding. There is some out there that have 20 to 30% energy, which will burn a deer's stomach up. It will fill his stomach up so much that it will actually make him feel like he's starving himself to death and he will die from it. They're saying that's a supplemental feeding for a year-round food source. And high salt content that is not doing anything for your deer. Actually, too much salt is actually bad for your deer. Your deer can get sick over it. I mean, it just amazes me on what's out there that people are making money off of. And number one is because a lot of people don't do their research. I mean, you can find out everything you want to find out, and then a lot of stuff that's not the truth. But you look up how much energy can a deer withstand, how much protein can a deer withstand, how much salt. What happens if I feed my deer too much salt? You can get answers on this machine, this little device right here. And a lot of people will not do it. They just think more is better, and that's the worst thing ever. So again, like I said, I think the key word tonight was homework. That's all I can stress is if you don't feel comfortable calling somebody, get on Google and look up respectable places. Look up, I mean, even get down, Penn State has some great sites on there, Purdue University. There's a lot of good universities out there that have a lot of input on these type of products, the proteins, the energies, the salts, different trace minerals and vitamins, how they work, what they do, which one works best for blood flow, which one works best for bone growth. You know, you can learn all this stuff if you don't feel comfortable calling somebody like myself or anything like that. Get on there and get onto a respectable site and look it up. Because if you just Google it or go to YouTube, you're going to have 9 million people telling you something completely different. And so just get on some respectable site, and you can learn a lot about what whitetail deer need and what they cannot withstand. So that's the best thing you can do when you're wanting to make that deer herd the healthiest it can be. Robert, I hear you. If there's a will, there's a way. You're probably talking about them 200-pound tubs. They are awesome, but they're we just reformulated that 200-pound tub, and now it's pretty much Greeniac in a 200-pound form, a little different, but pretty much the same, and they are devouring them. It's amazing. We need to make them with wheels on them and a little electric motor that can drive into the woods with them. I got one sitting out here in my shed now that I do content off of. So I got to load it in the truck, take it all the way to Indiana, where there's no tractor to unload it. Got to get it off the truck to get some content, video and pictures of it, and trail cam pics. Holy cow. I'm not looking forward to it. No, Robert, like I say, that's true. You said you always thought more salt was better. It's the complete opposite, bud. Complete opposite. Get on Google and reach up. Is salt bad for a deer? And just see what it says. Too much salt bad for a deer. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we just will jump off here for tonight before they kick us off here. And we'll see what else brings. We are going to be bringing, again, they're setting me up with the live seminar. I'll run my PowerPoint. That's probably going to be coming up here within the month. Want it there right with the good planting time right now. It shows everything from planting from springtime to fall, soil test, a little bit of everything. So we're going to run that for an hour one night, kind of go over it. It goes over very well at the seminars. So that's why I thought we'd kind of offer it to everybody that can't be at a show to see it. And but we'll definitely put it out there a week or so before and let everybody know that it's going to be on. So, well, guys, you have a great night. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, call me, text, message me, however you want to do it. You guys take care, and we'll see you here in a couple of weeks.